My name is Dr. Craig Weirum with Heritage Medical Associates here in Nashville, Tennessee. I specialize in the area of endocrinology and diabetes. And I am here on behalf of Novo Nordisk to answer any questions that may arise regarding the use of Ozempic for the treatment of type 2 diabetes in conjunction with diet and exercise. We're mostly here to explore and enjoy Michael's wonderful story with Ozempic, but we must remember that Ozempic is only approved for patients with type 2 diabetes. It also has been known to cause benign and malignant thyroid tumors in rodents. However, there has been no increase in thyroid tumors in human clinical trials, hence the relevance is unclear. We do not recommend any specific thyroid testing in patients who are taking Ozempic, but we do recommend that they contact their healthcare provider should they experience a lump in the neck or any other serious neck symptoms. If there's other desire for further information, they can go to ozempic.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I guess I'll just go ahead and start. Welcome to blackdoctor.org. I'm Shamika Rhymes, and I'm super excited about this conversation because also joining us today, along with Dr. Weirum, our award-nominated powerhouse vocalists, Michael and Tanya Trotter. Welcome. You guys are the duo known as the War and Treaty. And as we have been mentioning a few minutes ago about Ozempic, Michael has been living with type 2 diabetes. So we're going to talk about how you guys make wellness a priority. So Michael, I'm going to start with you. Let's talk a little bit about your journey. When were you first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and what symptoms or warning signs led you to seek some advice?
Awesome. Well, first off, I was so excited to talk to you. Thanks for the opportunity to share our journey. In 2011, actually on my birthday, March 15th, 2011, I indulged in a series of bad decisions that day. And it led me to have an impaired vision that evening. And after realizing it wasn't getting any better, I told my wife, I said, hey, I think we need to go to the ER ASAP. And going to the ER, I discovered that my blood sugar was extremely high. And my doctors let me know that I do have diabetes based on my history and family history, rather, that I do have diabetes. And after a while, my wife and we decided to take the journey serious. And I consulted with the primary care doctor, and we came up with a different routine of living. Start with dieting, then exercise. And once I got on a regular schedule of that, or they could see that my A1C numbers were slowly declining on its own, they introduced into my regimen Ozempic. And Ozempic became the big partner in all of this, and it really helped me attack my A1C in a more realistic way. And so that's why we're here today.
Well, I have to ask Tanya, how did you react when you heard about the diagnosis?
Shocked, because I hadn't had any experience with anyone in my family that had diabetes. So my initial reaction in the ER was shock. And then second reaction was, once we had an opportunity to talk with his doctor, is to come up with a life plan for us, and then, but that had to be his choice ultimately. And when he decided that we were going to shake hands like we do with everything in our partnership, we were going to aggressively attack it, that's what we did.
Yeah. And I can't remember if I said this, but I want to be very clear. It wasn't that they diagnosed me with just diabetes. They diagnosed me as a type 2 diabetic. So
okay.
Was what I was diagnosed as.
Okay. Dr. W, so I don't mess your name up again. For those who may not realize they're at risk, what are some of the common early signs of type 2 diabetes that people should be aware of?
So Michael's sign, I think, is interesting because sometimes it doesn't get listed, but vision change is definitely on the list. I would say ones that get more press, though, are frequent urination, extreme thirst, extreme hunger, rarely weight loss when it gets to a very advanced stage. So those are probably some of the major symptoms that will trigger someone to think of when they are experiencing diabetes. Thirst and frequent urination being the top two.
Mm-hmm. Well, when someone's first diagnosed, what are some of the key steps they should take to manage the condition effectively?
Well, I think Michael's is probably poster child for that in many ways, because he really did. He took it seriously. He also took lifestyle seriously, which is difficult, especially with all the food in this world that's thrown at us and all the advertising. And he takes exercise very seriously. He goes to the gym regularly. So adding medication was the third thing that really helped him to get his A1C down, and he can tell you more about that story.
Okay. Well, obviously, you two are on the road a lot, and touring is demanding because you've got the late nights, the travel. And I know when I'm on the road traveling anywhere, even if it's just an hour away, I have snacks in the car or I'm stopping at somewhere to get something. But you have to take all that into consideration, and things are just unpredictable. So, Michael and Tanya, how do you maintain a routine that keeps you feeling at your best, especially, you, Michael, with type 2 diabetes?
Well, I'll say this much. You have to get creative first off. Once I get in the rhythm of dieting, that's the easy part. I think the part that becomes more challenging is taking that exercise regimen serious. And so, because I know I have a problem with that, I've become more creative as to what I use as a workout regimen. And the thing I use is performing on stage. That's tailor fit to me. I perform for about 90 minutes to about 100 and sometimes 120, and I'm performing high energy. And I can tell you when I'm done, I'm so exhausted. I can feel it in my arms, my legs, my shirts are drenched. And I realized that I just did a full workout. And I started to see changes in my energy. I started to see changes in, honestly speaking, my weight. And so I paid attention to that. And so it's easier for me to manage on the road because I control everything from my schedule all the way down to when I work out, as well as Ozempic is already controlled for me because I take that once a week already. Doing its job, it just has to partner with me to do the rest.
Okay. What about you, Tanya? How are you, making sure that wellness is a priority on the road?
What Michael said, we have a schedule. We realize that it's so regimented when you're on the road as far as your schedule is concerned. So maybe on a bus for 4 to 5 hours, and then you get to wherever you are at 2 o'clock. And then, by 7 o'clock, you're on the stage. So you have opportunities, have a good breakfast, eat well when you get to the venue, because usually they have riders and different things. And a rider is really what the venue gives you as an artist to eat. So our rider changed what we request. Changed. At first, it used to be sweets and anything unhealthy. And then we went back out, we took it seriously. We started having some things like Michael likes, veggie trays and fruit and things like that, so that we could put it on the bus after the show. So we have food after the show from the rider, and that makes it easier for us as well as our team to be able to eat healthy on the road.
That's great. That's great. Because I was going to be nosy and be like, what was on that rider first? But you shared it was some sweets and stuff. So that's great. That's a great place to make some changes. Dr. Weirum, for people with diabetes who do travel frequently, what else are there some of the bigger challenges, and what advice do you have for those that do travel so that they can stay on top of their health?
Yeah, so there's a lot of potential equipment that comes along with some patients with diabetes, obviously insulin and glucose meters, and now we have glucose sensors, and sometimes that can be difficult. Pills were the great thing about Ozempic is that it's a once weekly shot. That makes it a little bit more convenient because if you're for a weekend, it may not influence your regimen at all. So that's very helpful for patients. Also, Ozempic is very forgiving because it can actually, if you miss a shot for a day, you can take it the next day or the day after that, or even the day after that, and still stay on schedule. So we want people to obviously take their shots appropriately and on time, but it's a little bit more flexible for people who have Michael's lifestyle, have to do one administration a week.
Yeah. So, Michael and Tanya, you're part of an exciting new campaign. Can you tell us a bit about it and why it was so important for you to get involved?
This campaign is extremely exciting. When Novo Nordisk came to us and presented the opportunity to share our story in a wider way, our Ozempic journey began. I was so excited to be able to share the journey and to be able to talk about how these three things, dieting, exercising, and Ozempic, has helped me control my A1C numbers as a type 2 diabetic. It's a partnership that I'm not alone in. We got literally 3 other unique adults with unique stories to share. And we share all of this information on myozempicera.com. So the joy, as you can see on my face, is real because I've seen results. And so I think that is the biggest thing about the campaign, my Ozempic era.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Mike. It takes a lot of courage to stand up and talk about the things that you're going through. You know, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, or they're pressured into doing something, but this is your life. You know, you only get one, you know, and we have a platform that I'm very excited about with our music that we can talk to. People do listen to our music, but we have the influence when we're on the stage to talk about some real life things, you know, and I think that's important for people to know that he's a real person. We go through real struggles, real challenges, just like everybody else, but you don't have to be taken under by that. You can take control over your situation in your life and still have a wonderful life, but know that you're in control over it. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm very excited that Michael is talking about it, and I can be here as his partner to support him and motivate him in doing so.
I love that so very much, because I think that's a key thing, having someone in your corner to cheer you on, especially no matter what it is. And so kudos to you both for that. Now we got to talk about your music, your latest album, Plus One. What does this project mean to you, and how does it reflect where you are in your life right now?
It means everything to us right now. It's our latest offering, especially in a time like this where our climate can be kind of divisive. What we're encouraging is in something more special than just even unity. We're really promoting intimacy, you know, be able to lock arms and walk together hand in hand, and to share your stories and share your journey like we're doing right now. And to remind everybody about the human connection. You know, I've known this woman for 15 years, and we've known Dr. Weirum here for a little bit over a couple of hours here. And it feels like, based on our conversation, that he's been our plus one for a long time, right? So that's what the album is all about, is sharing experiences and letting people know they're not alone, encouraging people to come see us and also bring their plus one, and also sharing certain journeys that we're embarking on, especially with me, with my health journey with Ozempic. So it's a lot, and we're excited about it all.
Well, what can fans expect from your upcoming tour? Are there any special moments you're also excited to bring to the stage? Spill the tea.
You know, our connection with our fans is it's a community. We have a community in Hartstown. So in that community, we share everything from the stage. So we're hoping that with this, we'll get that feedback back, you know, our chats online to talk about some serious things, going to our Facebook group, things like that. And so that's what we're looking forward to, just connecting deeper with our fans and getting more intimate, as Michael said, with our fans, and letting them in a little deeper into who we are with this campaign as well.
And also sharing the message that you're not alone. You know, I think that a lot of us lose the battle because we definitely believe that we're alone, and we are not alone. So again, I encourage everybody to go to that website, myozempicera.com, where there's so much information and so much more stories other than just myself on there, of people who have similar journeys.
Well, for this question is for all of you. We'll start with you, Dr. Weirum. But before we wrap up, what's one key takeaway that you'd love for our audience to remember when it comes to managing type 2 diabetes and living a full, active life?
Well, you got to have support. You can't deal with a chronic disease alone. Mike is great. He's got the wonderful support of Tanya. I think he's also got a wonderful primary care doctor who worked with him and who he trusted to come up with a plan. And then he did his part, and together they came up with something that really worked well for him. So I think that you just can't do this alone. You got to have a team, and you have to have people that you trust on the team. And that, I think, is the best advice I can give you.
Thank you. Michael, your turn.
Just to add, as a continuance to what the doctor says, when you do find that person you trust that can support you, and when you find that doctor as that third or as your plus one, understand that you've got to fully trust them. The doctor is going to give you what he thinks or she thinks is the best treatment possible when you trust them. And I am grateful for my primary care team. I'm grateful for my love, my team here. The first thing that, and you know, Dr. Weirum said it, you have to be honest with the fact that diabetes, you know, we joke about it, we call it sugar in the arm out there.
Yeah.
Honest with it, it is not the sugar, it is diabetes, and it is, in fact, a chronic illness, and people are losing their lives daily because they just chalk it up as, I heard about it. People deal with it all their lives, and no, we need to actively take it serious and get care plans that will help us attack those A1C numbers when you're type 2 diabetic. So that is my takeaway from it all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tanya.
I would say, as a supporter of Michael and having been in his family and watching a lot of people pass away from this particular disease, is I would just encourage anyone who gets diagnosed, or if they're in a position like I am, just to be kind to yourself. You know, once you find out that you have it, you know, fear immediately sets in, but you also have to have compassion for yourself as well. To say, yes, you've made some mistakes. Yes, you're here now, and actively go to work, but be kind to yourself. And take it in moderation. You might mess up one day, but then you have the next day to fix it. You know, so that's what I would say.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining me here on blackdoctor.org. It has been a pleasure. And one more time for that website, Michael.
Yes, ozempicera.com.
Thank you. Thank you. And you guys, you can also head over to blackdoctor.org for plenty of articles about diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. So thank you again for joining me. Have a good one.